So, can we pass the mic along, or please? Please.
Sir, good afternoon. I think I should congratulate your entire team. It's a very focused what you're launching in the commercial segment. And my question is about your entry into Latin America and other countries. So, are you going to have other manufacturing facilities? Means present, where are your facilities, and are you going to move to the export zones to avail those incentives?
Thank you very much. As Chairman Uday mentioned, Omega is a global brand. We have aspirations to make this electric vehicle company a global company under the OSM brand. We have had extensive discussions and significant interest from African countries and some of the Latin American countries as well. We do see that in this journey we will work with multiple partners. There would be alliances, there would be joint ventures, there would be dealerships and some other channel partners with whom we would be working. As you know, each country has its own ecosystem, and also along with the opportunities come the challenges. Those particular challenges are localized, and particularly in that part of the world, we have to understand those challenges and work with the local partners. So discussions are on at a very significant level with probable partners in some of these countries, and in near future we would be announcing some of these alliances. There are some confidentialities, NDAs, etc. So unfortunately I won't be able to answer you directly the country name or the partner's name, but very soon we would be announcing these, and we are going to be a global brand. In fact, M1K is a global platform. It will be produced in the versions of LHD, RHD, left and drive as well for the countries that need them. So that's our intent, that's our vision, to make it a truly global platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
What sort of go-to-market strategy specifically OSM will have for M1K, specific go-to-market initiatives, especially for the e-commerce segment that you were targeting, and also in terms of expansion of the manufacturing facilities, what are the plans right now?
I'll take the first one. Second one I'll ask Karthik-san to explain. You see, the go-to-market strategy for us is very simple. We identify a problem and then we'll find a solution for that. We are not chasing a market share. It's market share means somebody has already solved that problem. This is a segment where we see there is a problem today. See, take the case of e-commerce, which is primarily driving the electric vehicle market today, along with the government. But primarily the demand pull is coming from e-commerce. But we see that e-commerce is only one of the segments. We have to target the other segments which need it. There is a problem today. The system seems to be broken in many cases. For example, many of these internal combustion engine vehicles, diesel vehicles, etc., are not allowed to enter the cities, the metro cities, because of no entry, etc. So what they do is they will stand in the queue, at the borders, and when the no entry opens, then only they are able to enter the city. So that means that the running of the vehicle is limited by these restrictions. I'm not debating whether this is right or wrong, but this is a problem today. So with an electric vehicle, we solve this problem, that it is allowed to fly throughout the day. So imagine the uptime of the vehicle and the enabler of business this electric vehicle brings. So instead of maybe 8 hours, you can drive 20 hours probably. And with all these new highways coming, and we must compliment and thank the Honorable Minister for really taking this initiative and really making it happen in India in a very short period of time. The Eastern Peripheral Highway, the Delhi-Mumbai dedicated freight corridor, etc. So these are the enablers to this electrification that we see going to be happening in next couple of years. Once you are able to do Delhi Mumbai in a day, that means you could travel back and forth in a day, 24 hours. That's a huge incentive for the freight agencies, logistics companies, even the warehousing and other businesses. So this is our go-to-market strategy. To summarize, identify the problem and find a solution using the electric vehicle technology. We will only do electric in different form factors. Today we are into three-wheeler. We also are entering the four-wheeler, which we see as a very big, solution provided to this problem of limited running, of only, last mile. So instead of that, it could fly over a wide range of logistic chain, middle mile, intra-cities, intercity, along the highways, etc. So that's what I think is it's a very simple go-to-market strategy. And I would like to personally thank various customers who have really stood by us and given us a chance. Lynn Fox is here, and Pramila, thank you very much for all the help. Thank you.
Excuse me, Jai
About the manufacturing, I would ask.
Hello. Yeah. The second question you answer, then I'll ask some question for defense and paramilitary forces.
Yes. So, with respect to manufacturing, see, we have a plan to in Karnataka first and foremost, and second, with respect to what kind of approach we'll be taking, that we'll decide very soon. Actually, as of now, we haven't taken any such it's not decided what approach we have to take or anything. But one thing is for sure that we'll be coming out with the smart manufacturing techniques. So in order to build the plant as early as possible and then start deliveries at the earliest. First and foremost, we'll be making the product robust much more.
What I want to answer is that we are looking at Karnataka to be, because there is a huge hub being built there. So we've got quite a lot of big players that are there, and we have looked at a few places. We also have an infrastructure business. We have a land bank in many states. So we will use one of those facilities. We are planning and all of that. And since we move quite fast, you'll see us. Thank you.
Excuse me, Jai Hind, I am Rajan Chibbar. I am advisor to Andhra government and of course central government, some of the agencies. My questions are two. Number one, is this a total Make in India product? Number one. Number two, as per the latest decision has been taken for MOD, Ministry of Defense, and Home Ministry, that are you ready to offer one vehicle as NCNC trial, means no cost, no commitment trial for these forces? The government has really decided that every month the defense forces, paramilitary forces and police has to submit the report how many EVs they have added and how many diesel or petrol vehicles they have deleted. Thank you very much. Kindly just first, my question is this total Make in India or still you will take some time? And third thing is, can you offer one vehicle with a total quality, 3 quality checks for the paramilitary forces nodal agency like CRPF? Thank you.
I'll answer that last question first, and then Dr. Dev, you can ask about Make in India. We look at all evaluation, whether it's the military, armed forces, whether it's the governments. We get requests all the time. To answer that question, we have to evaluate it case-by-case basis. These are vehicles that we are building, with a lot of technology. We will evaluate that. I cannot answer that right now. We will evaluate step by step. We have many approaches at central, state, asking us whether defense is extremely important. I have the highest respect for defense and the armed forces, but we have requests from the garbage side. We have requests from the disabled. We've built vaccine delivery. So we will evaluate that. As far as Make in India, the first question, Dr. Dev, if you can answer that, would be great.
Yeah, the vehicle is completely Make in India, made in India. As you know, the battery cells are not made in India. Battery packs are made. So our battery suppliers, all of them, they get the cells from abroad, from various countries. Most of the market of cells, as you know, is controlled by Asian countries, China, Taiwan, Korea, Japan. So cells are imported from there, but the battery pack and EMS, etc., everything is made in India. So apart from that content, the cells, everything is made in India. And with the government now announcing the PLI scheme, and our friend Kuldeep is here from C4B, companies like him are going to produce cells in India very soon. And I do see next couple of years the entire supply chain.
Can I have the next?
Thank you very much.
Over here, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Afterwards.
Abhishek here, sir. Straight. Abhishek from Business World, right there.
Yeah, can we do one thing? Can we first get a chance of everyone to get, because I think, the second round of questions from the same, please, if we can give, because there's a lot of people here. So if we could just focus on one person, first round of questions, we'll be here. I'll be here till very late. We'll answer all the questions. But let's get everybody a chance to ask their questions first round, and then we'll go for the second round of questions.
So my question is, as a first commercial vehicle entering in the market, and fuel prices, everybody knows is affecting most of the segments in the country. How much it helped to the masses to cope in the market, and for them it will be better for in the future to invest in this commercial vehicle.
Yeah, see, this is a pretty straightforward question. As you know, the fuel prices are shooting through the roof for various reasons. And electric vehicle, the running cost is a fraction of that. If you take 200 kilometers in 20 rupees, so it's 1 rupee, less than a rupee. And also another factor that we have to consider is the maintenance cost. The IC engine vehicles, typically the diesel, petrol vehicles, need a lot of maintenance. Because of there are so many moving parts. So every time a vehicle goes for scheduled maintenance or a breakdown maintenance, you end up spending quite a lot of money. So over a TCO, the total the cost of the life of this vehicle, if we consider, so there is a clear-cut saving of anything from 25 to 30%. So that's the kind of equation it looks like. As there is one more factor, as time goes, the battery prices will come down. The technologies are evolving, chemistries are evolving. Also, once the scale comes, the battery, the volumes help the price down. And with the local manufacturing in India, it will again bring down the prices. So as time goes by, I'm pretty sure it's going to be an absolute winner in terms of price of acquisition of an electric vehicle compared to a diesel vehicle. I hope I answered your question.
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
सर ये बताइए इसका प्राइस क्या रख रहे हैं और बुकिंग और सप्लाई में कितने का करते हैं? अभी बुकिंग होगी तो सप्लाई कब होगी?
देखिए, प्राइसिंग में हम अभी इवैल्यूएट कर रहे हैं, बट मोस्टली जो हमने लास्ट बात करी थी 15-16 लाख के बीच में होगा, और 15 या 16 lakhs अगर सुनो. एंड बुकिंग ओपन हो रही है Q3 FY 2022, एंड प्रेस रिलीज में आपको सब इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी कि कब हम एक्चुअल प्रोडक्शन दे रहे हैं. हम पहले ये देख रहे हैं कि हमने सिर्फ 2000 गाड़ियों की बुकिंग पहले लेनी है बस. First 2000, then we want to make sure those vehicles are on the road, and then उसके ऊपर हम सिर्फ 9999 का डिपॉजिट, 9,099.
कोई सब्सिडी भी है कोई सर?
Excuse me?
गवर्नमेंट सब्सिडी दे रही है, उसमें सब्सिडी भी है.
हाँ, गवर्नमेंट सब्सिडी इसमें होगी. जब जो बैटरी लगेगी उसके बाद फेम सब्सिडी के लिए जाना पड़ेगा. उसको जो भी सब्सिडी मिलती है हम वो कस्टमर को पास ऑन कर देंगे.
So what is the plan of action for the battery charging points? So parallelly you will be moving ahead with the charging points as well, because since it is, this four-wheeler would be covering a distance of 250 kilometers, and you are also looking for a interstate kind of arrangement. So and what would be the timeline for that, and which are the preferred states in India?
Very, very, very valid question, sir, and I appreciate that. Dr. Dev is personally leading the charge on this department. There are some, and I'll let Dr. Dev follow up on this. There are some confidentiality which we cannot talk. Again, guys, we get, because we're a very open company, we get really hammered by partners because even if something comes out, but we will announce a very strategic partnership with somebody very significant in this country that Dr. Dev has been working on with his team. And we are working on building an ecosystem on charging. We have been told that any area, let me get Dr. Dev, because Dr. Dev is working on this personally. Maybe Dr. Dev could give some sheds of light.
See, as I mentioned, we are a full solution provider. So unless we provide the charging, the solution is not complete. So we, as a part of our business solution, right from the battery to vehicle to the charging, that is the full offering that we will bring to the market. And we won't be doing everything ourselves. We, as Chairman Uday mentioned repeatedly, we believe in alliances. We will work with multiple partners in our journey. There would be partners for charging as well. Charging, as you know, is a completely different business. It has to be at a scale where the customers feel confident, and the whole range anxiety turns into range comfort. So that is where we will be working with multiple partners. There would be government agencies, as I personally feel that government agencies, oil companies, etc., they are better placed to create this kind of infrastructure pan-India. Because creating infrastructure in ground in India poses challenges, various locations, state level, etc. To handle that, we will partner with multiple partners. There are some very exciting opportunities from new startups who bring in this technology to, rapid charge, for example. Swap is another one. Quick charge is another. So that is how this whole industry will evolve. It will be combination of various solutions. I don't see in India you can succeed with one size fit all kind of strategy. You got to have multiple solutions. Somewhere fixed charge, fixed battery will work. Somewhere swap will work. Somewhere rapid charge will work. So that's our strategy. We will work with multiple partners who bring in different solutions. And pan India, this kind of network will be created at a scale where our customers are comfortable, using our vehicles. Thank you very much.
One question. Just 1 second. I just need to finish up. You asked the cities, and I think the cities we first want to look at is Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, obviously NCR, so all the biggest cities, but that does not mean that tier 2, tier 3. See, where will we see demand? I'll give you an example. One of my young guns here in the marketing department had some demand come out of Bihar. And, there was a dairy product that they needed 100 vehicles. So if we get, it could be, and I say, I spent a lot of time in ASEAN. So, if it's part of Vietnam that makes sense, or a part of Thailand that makes sense, we'll do it. So, but we will hit the major cities. I think it's easier to, once we get that acceptance, but if there is a demand in a smaller city, in a tier 2, tier 3, we'll do it. But we'll do the major cities right off the gates. So it gives a lot of the key part is last mile players, delivery players, like some of our customers, need it. The more, for us at OSM, what's most important is if we show the product, if you guys in the business of transportation and logistics accept it. We were working with a very large Thai company before the pandemic, and who are huge players in the logistics business. Dr. Dev and I went down. We have an operation in Bangkok already. So we were looking to build up a whole ecosystem for them. So we are looking at we were just in Manipur. And we were talking about working on an ecosystem there. So the answer to your question is, wherever the demand will come, wherever we have a certain amount of vehicles, we will build the ecosystem. But the big cities to start.
So what are going to be these new use cases beyond the e-commerce delivery, which you are likely to witness? What are going to be those use cases?
Yeah, that's a very important point that you raised. You see, as I said, we are looking to look at a problem and provide a solution. If you have a problem, come to us and we will provide a solution. As far as we could do. So that's the whole business strategy. Apart from e-commerce, which today is the major driver of electrification in India, particularly in the commercial segment, I do see that there are many segments which will eventually look at this as a very, very effective and efficient solution. there are segments that we have looked at. We have mapped the requirement and the demand and the gap analysis has been done. Some of them I will just mention. One is the milk and dairy segment, where our friends Trans-Asian Shatrughanji has a lot of experience in dealing with. So this is a segment which needs a refrigerated vehicle, for example. It also needs non-refrigerated version. A lot of milk, typically milk and milk products are delivered to Delhi, for example, from adjoining areas. So that's a huge segment which can use our vehicle. Then there is a building construction materials, business which uses a lot of the intra-city movement of goods, tiles, for example, the construction materials, sanitary ware, etc. So those are the business segment which should be using electric vehicle. Then there is one which is our own industry, automotive. Auto components is a huge, as you know, automotive is a very material intensive business. A car has 5,000 parts. All those parts have to come together to build that car. So all the vehicle makers typically they do the assembly in house, and all the parts are sourced, and all of them nowadays come on just-in-time basis or depending on the vehicles to be made. So that is something that is very interesting to us, and we bring some knowledge of automotive to the table, and we have relationships there. So that's something that we are very keenly looking at. Then vaccine, Uday mentioned vaccine, and pharma is another very interesting segment. So these are the business segments that we do see, in our business plan.
What is your achievement as corporate social responsibility? What is your achievement as corporate social responsibility?
Actually, I am not the right person. Chairman Uday is the right person, but I will take this question. देखिए CSR हम पहले से ही बहुत seriously लेते रहे हैं. Anglia Omega is a 52-year-old company, and Mrs. Narang is here. She started the business, and the family has been extremely focused and very, very sensitive towards the societal requirements. They have been running a school for many, many years. And also coming to the recent time, pandemic brought a lot of lot of problems to a lot of people. We rose to the occasion, and we have set up a hospital in Faridabad, entirely by Chairman Uday's initiatives. It's a 100-bed hospital which was set up in a very short period of time, taking the help from the local administration. Also, you would remember, unfortunately, a lot of us had to go through a lot of distress due to oxygen shortage when the second wave came. We immediately located oxygen plant abroad, and we airlifted it, and two of them. One is the oxy generator, and second is the complete oxygen plant itself. So these are some of the initiatives which we took, immediately reacting to the unfortunate situation. Apart from that, we have taken help from Trans-Asian, our partners, to do the vaccination, the last mile of vaccination. See, vaccine and vaccination are two different, issues. Vaccine is there, but vaccination is an entirely different problem to solve for a country like India. So the last mile is a huge challenge everywhere. So we prepared this vehicle with their help, and we put the vehicle immediately in the last mile logistics of the vaccine. So these are some of the initiatives, and it is not that this is not done with an intent to grab some headlines or something. We do it quietly in our own way, and in whatever our limitations are in terms of resources or financials or other, we try to do our best. So, I hope I answered your question.
One more question. Do you have do you think to upliftment of the local Indian languages? Do you have a plan for that? Yeah. Do you have contribution, or do you have a thought for that?
Language is you said.
Yeah, local language upliftment. The Indian local language, so many 35 and 36 languages are there.
सी लोकल लैंग्वेज का ऐसा कोई हमारा प्लान नहीं है, लेकिन जो हमारी गाड़ी के जो मैनुअल्स और वर्क इंस्ट्रक्शंस और वो सारे जाते हैं वो लोकल लैंग्वेज में ट्रांसलेट होके जाते हैं.
If you are working in Karnataka, you are working in Odisha, and there are some different languages, the people are going there and they can't talk, they can't communicate.
देखिए, हाँ मैं समझ गया. देखिए जो हमारे गाड़ी है, स्कूटर है या 3-wheeler है, दैट इज मेंट फॉर, ये कमर्शियल गाड़ी है, 3-wheeler, 4-wheeler. इट इज नॉट अ पर्सनल व्हीकल. So in the commercial vehicle, the driver has to understand how the vehicle works. उसे समझ में आना चाहिए कि कौन सा कंट्रोल, और ये completely different technology है, जिसमें अगर आप कुछ उसको छेड़छाड़ करते हो सिस्टम से या कुछ बैटरी को छेड़ते हो तो